Okay, welcome back. So the next part of this question was part 4. It says, a credit note was sent to a customer for 520 euros. The only entry made in the books was 52 euros debited to the customer's account. So that 52 euros put in the customer's account or the debtor's account means there's a problem with the schedule of debtors because it's a wrong number, 52 instead of 520. Secondly, if that's the only entry in the books, that means no entry was made in the general ledger. So not putting anything in is a mistake as well when you should have. So there's also a problem in the debtor's control account that we need to fix. So there's 2 areas we'll be fixing this time around. So let's look at the debtor's control account first, I suppose. It says, a credit note was sent to a customer for 520. Well, a credit note is sent to a customer when there's a sales returns. So if we look at, rather than making a sales returns account, if we make a sales account and we think of a sales return as a minus a sale, it's reducing your sales. You know, every time you make a sale, your sales goes up. If somebody returns something, you put your sales account down. Okay, so a credit note sent to a customer, we send it to our customer when they send us back some goods. They return us some goods that we sold them. So it was for 520. No entry was made in the general ledger. So we've no purple entry to put in here because they did nothing. So we just have to put the 520 in the correct spot. And in this case, the correct spot is over here. Sales returns should have reduced the amount that that they owe. I suppose, or reduce the amount of sales. So again, this is what we're taking over to our schedule of debtors. And remember, we're bringing it over to the opposite side. So we go to our debtors control account. Did I say schedule of debtors? I meant to say debtors control account. So on the opposite side, we talk about, it was a credit note, wasn't it? It was part 4, I believe. And it was 520 euros. Okay, that's half of it done. The next part then was the problem with the debtor's account. So let's just make some workings here. Debtor's account. Again, it's plus minus. That's how the debtor's account works. And what happened? So credit note was sent to a customer for 520. So what should have happened first of all is, well, if they return goods to you, then you should be putting it on the minus side of the debtors because they should owe you less money. You should be bringing down the amount you say they owe you. So it should have gone in there. But the only entry made in the books was 52 euros debited to the customer's account. So with my purple pen, here's what they did. They put it on the debit side, 52 euros. They actually said, oh, you owe us an extra 52, even though they should owe us less for returning goods. So again, how do we fix that mistake first of all, or undo that mistake? We must put in a minus 52 to cancel out the plus. But that doesn't actually account for the 520 that we should have put in there in the first place. We should then, if plus and minus give us a 0 balance and we want a minus 520 balance, then we must put in another 520 on this side. So in total, we're putting on this side 572, and that 572, again, this is workings we're doing for the schedule or the list of debtors. That means we're reducing, or in the deduct or the less part of the schedule of debtors, we're putting in 572. So here's the deduct part, and we're going to put it as a credit note, wasn't that it? And it was part 4, I believe. 4, let me just check. Yeah, part 4, and we said 572 is the amount to fix it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one is part 5. It says an invoice sent by Forrester to a customer for 1560 had been entered in the appropriate day book. So an invoice that we're sending to a customer is when we do a credit sale to them. We sell something on credit and we send them an invoice for the amount they owe us. And had it been entered in the appropriate day book, so the appropriate day book for a credit sale is the sales day book. And then you take that information from the sales day book and then you put it into your general ledger in the sales account and then into your debtors ledger, because it was a credit sale, in the debtors account. So that's what you would normally do. But in this case, when the invoice was sent for this, we assume is the correct amount, it had been entered in the day book as 1650. So that means ordinarily when you posted that to your ledger, you'd have a mistake in both your general and your debtors ledger. You'd have a 1650 instead of 1560. However, it says when you posted from this book to the ledger, no entry was made in the customer's account. So it means you didn't actually put anything. You didn't put the wrong figure in the debtor's account. You put nothing in the debtor's account. And as for the general ledger in the sales account, we assume you put in the wrong figure because that's what was put into the day book. So let's fix that. First of all, let's do there's a problem in both the schedule and the debtors control. So we'll do the debtors control first, and it's the sales account that would have been incorrect in the general ledger. So what did they put in? We'll assume they took the figure that was put in correctly into the sales day book, this 1650, and then they put it into the sales ledger, sales account in the general ledger, 1650. We know that's wrong. We know it should have been a plus because there were sales, but it shouldn't have been a plus 1650. It should only have been a plus 1560. So we must reduce this amount down to 1560. Now the difference between 1650 and 1560 is 90 euros. So we want to bring this down by 90 euros. So we're going to put 90 euros on the minus side here. Okay, and that should fix it. That should bring it down to the amount we want. And so this is what we're then going to bring over to the debtors control account, or adjusted debtors control account. Now remember as well, if it's on this side in our workings, it's on the opposite side in the debtors control account. So we could put up here sales and 90 euros. Oh, and what part was it? 5, I believe. 90 euros. And then as for the schedule of debtors, well, what happened in the debtors account? Well, they've told us that when they went posting to the ledgers, they didn't actually put anything in the debtors account. So again, debtors is a plus minus. I don't have to put anything in purple because they did nothing. They put nothing in there. And what should they have put in? Well, this was the incorrect figure. We know the correct figure for the invoice was 1560. That's the amount that we sold goods on credit to our customer for. So that's the amount that they owe us, the extra amount that they owe us. So it should be 1560 into the plus side. So when we're doing it in our schedule here, when we're fixing our schedule, we're putting it in the add side. So again, that's like sales or an invoice, and it's what did I say, part 5, 1560. Okay, and that's it for part 5. I'm going to stop there and I'll do the last part in the next video.